Hello, my name is Anna Ignatova, and this presentation is devoted to classical approach to organizations. A company's people, employees want to know, am I being listened to or am I a cog in the wheel? People really need to feel wanted. This is the quote from the Sir Richard Branson, who is a British billionaire, entrepreneur, and business magnate. In the 1970s, he founded the Virgin Group, which today controls more than 400 companies in various fields. In this presentation, I want to introduce you to the classical approach to organizations, which sees organizations as machines and people as those cogs in the wheels. We will explore the principles this approach is based on and how it works in real life. So we will briefly discuss Industrial Revolution as the main condition that helped the classical theory to appear. We will also look at the classical theory founders, then we will review the principles of the classical organization, go through 14 principles of management, explore the communication in a classical organization, and finally find out when the classical approach to organizations works well and when it is not helpful. So Industrial Revolution. Classical approach to organization was a reaction to the Industrial Revolution, which took place in the late 1700s to late 1800s. The Industrial Revolution was the transition to new manufacturing process in Great Britain, continental Europe, and the United States. The transition included going from hand production methods to machines, new chemical manufacturing and iron production process, the increasing use of steam power and water power, the development of machine tools, and the rise of the mechanized factory system. The machines were more effective and more productive than people. And new technology like steam trains were moved by machines, not by people. This was the time of the appearance of big factories, and people moved there from their farms. And all these crowds had to be managed somehow. So the appearance of classical perspective, which compared employees with the cogs in the machine, was logical. The classical theory founders. So the main theorists who attempted to answer such questions as how to manage all these people, maximize productivity, and organize all of this were Max Weber, Frederick Taylor, and Henry Fayol. Max Weber is known for the term bureaucracy, which he saw as the ideal to which organizations should aspire. For Weber, bureaucracy meant logic, order, uniformity, and consistency. He relied on clear rules which supposed to govern performance and standardized guidelines for hiring and firing. Frederick Taylor used the term scientific management for his approach, and to him it meant applying science to work. He saw that at many jobs, people performed the same task in different ways. And Taylor thought that this was not efficient. He popularized time and motion studies, trying to find out how much time exactly each task should take to perform and how many motions every single task should take, so that we can find out right way to do every single task. He embodied the guiding principle of the Industrial Revolution: productivity increases as cost per unit decreases. And finally, Henry Fayol, a very successful manager, looked at the management side of the things and how we should manage people. He formulated 14 principles of management, which we will discuss later. Principles of a classical organization. So classical theorists see the organization as machines, which means that they focus on efficiency and effectiveness. And to be as efficient as machine, there should be a division of labor. The idea is that each employee is doing one thing, but he is doing it perfectly. Therefore, there should be people who plan and think, and the ones who carry out those orders. This leads us to the necessity of having top-down authority in a classical organization. Machines should be easy to repair. The same principle is applicable to classical organization. If something is broken, for instance, a person gets sick or quit the job, there should be multiple others to take the job. This is achieved through training. People doing the same task receive the same training, which leads us to uniformity. Because the classical organization tends to uniformity, it creates tons of paper, rules, instructions, policies, and so on. Principles of management. So speaking about the principles of management in classical organization, we need to refer to Henry Fayol, which we mentioned earlier, the writer on bureaucratic theory. He formulated 14 principles of management that can be applied to all levels of management and every department of a classical organization. So the first principle is division of work. Henry Fayol believed that segregating work in the workforce amongst the workers will enhance the quality of the product. Similarly, he also concluded that the division of work improves the productivity, efficiency, accuracy, and speed of the workers. The principle is appropriate for both the managerial as well as technical work level. The second principle is authority and responsibility. These are the two key aspects of management. Authority facilitates the management to work efficiently, and responsibility makes them responsible for the work done under the guidance or leadership. The third principle is discipline. Without discipline, nothing can be accomplished. It is the core value of any project or any management. Good performance and sensitive interrelation make the management job easy and comprehensive. Employees' good behavior also help them smoothly build and progress in their professional careers. The fourth principle is the unity of command, means that employee should have only one boss and follow his command. If an employee has to follow more than one boss, there begins a conflict of interest and can create confusion. The fifth principle is unity of direction. Whoever is engaged in the same activity should have a unified goal. This means all the person working as a company should have one goal and motive, which will make the work easier and achieve the set goal easily. The sixth principle is subordination of individual interest. This indicates a company should work unitedly towards the interest of a company rather than personal interest, be subordinate to the purposes of an organization. This refers to the whole chain of command in a company. The next principle is remuneration. This plays an important role in motivating the workers of the company. Remuneration can be monetary or non-monetary. However, it should be according to an individual's efforts they have made. The eighth principle is centralization. In any company, the management or any authority responsible for the decision-making process should be neutral. However, this depends on the size of an organization. Henry Fayol stressed on the point that there should be a balance between the hierarchy and division of power. A scalar chain. Fayol on this principle highlights that the hierarchy steps should be from the top to the lowest. This is necessary so that every employee knows their immediate senior. Also, they should be able to contact any if needed. The 10th principle is order. The company should maintain a well-defined work order to have a favorable work culture. The positive atmosphere in the workplace will boost more positive productivity. The next principle is equity. All employees should be treated equally and respectfully. It's the responsibility of a manager that no employees face discrimination. The 12th principle is stability. An employee delivers the best if they feel secure in their job. It is the duty of the management to offer job security to the employees. The 13th principle is initiative. The management should support and encourage the employees to take initiative in the organization. It will help them to increase their interest and make them the worth. In esprit de corps, it is the responsibility of the management to motivate their employees and be supportive of each other regularly. Developing trust and mutual understanding will lead a positive outcome in work environment. So these 14 principles of management are used to manage an organization and are beneficial for prediction, planning, decision-making, organization, process management, control, and coordination. So communication in a classical organization is used as an instrument of command and control. It is usually a top-down style of communication where the individuals do not communicate beyond one level removed. It means that the bottom level would communicate one level up, who would communicate another level up, who would keep communicating up until it finally got to CEO or the one who is on the top of the pyramid. When the solution to the problem is found, it goes through the same channel down. In a classical organization, most of the problems are resolved at the first or second levels. Classical approach to organizations works well when there are several reasons, several conditions are present. First of all, this approach is ideal if there is a straightforward task to perform. For instance, career firms work fine under this construction, and the employees have clear instructions what to do, and their only task is to deliver. Also, mechanics organizations work well in stable, simple environments. Managers integrate the activities or clearly defined departments through formal channels and informal meetings. Often they feature many hierarchical layers and the focus on reporting relationships. For instance, when you get your new driver's license, you go from one department to another, taking a written test, taking an eye exam, taking an actual driving test, filling out the paperwork, and then finally getting your driver's license. The structure for this is very mechanistic. Every person looking to get a driver's license has to be treated exactly the same way. It's simple and stable. Another condition when the classical approach for organization works well is when the company wishes to produce exactly the same product time and time again. A good example is McDonald's. They have found the burgers people love and produce them over and over, growing their chain of restaurants worldwide. When we speak about repetition, we can't go around precision. To produce the same best product that customers know, the company should use the exact same recipe. Therefore, it is important that this most likely trade secret was used properly. When people are seen as details, this approach also works well. For instance, we call to IRS. We want our taxes. When we call to IRS, we want our taxes to be done properly. We don't want to pay more than the law requires of us, and we also want to receive all the benefits of grants. This is a system, and all the interested that the system works well. There are rules and procedures that should be followed. In this case, the IRS employees are seen as cogs or parts of a huge machine. Creativity is not the focus, the compliance and the ability to follow instructions is. Then it works well. Disadvantages. Implementation of classical approach to organization has its disadvantages. First of all, for classical organizations, it is hard to adapt to any changes that take place in environment. This happens because mechanistically structured organizations are designed to achieve predetermined goals using time-tested methods. These organizations are not about innovation. The second disadvantage of classical organization is the potential of management to be lost in bureaucracy. Aside from this, this negative side effect on companies' productivity, the employees can actually use it as a tool against the organization. There is a phenomenon known as work to rule, which is a form of protest in which employees do exactly what is stated in their contracts and nothing more in order to slow down production. Notable examples have included nurses refusing to answer telephones, teachers refusing to work for free at night and during weekends and holidays, and police officers refusing to issue citations. Employees of classical organizations can have apathy to their work, be careless, and experience lack of pride. Hence, the employees lose opportunities for personal growth, often spending hours a day on work they neither value nor enjoy. And organizations lose the creative and intelligent contribution that most employees are capable of making given the right opportunities. So we found out the prerequisite in this presentation. We found out the prerequisites of the classical theory, its main characteristics, and how this approach works in real world. Thank you for watching.